everyone, I am here today to show you how I feed my puppies, and specifically we're getting ready to see our Muppet Show litter go home in just over a week's time. So I'm going to show you how I prepare their food and how I feed these puppies, which is also how I feed my dogs. This video is going to be very similar to all of Sesame Street litter video, feeding video, if you've watched that. But I will try to make this a little bit shorter and just really get to the gist of the actual feeding. I have lots of thoughts, and I always have some new advice, and I'm always learning and growing and changing how I feed my dogs for the better. It's a journey for sure, but I will just stick to the facts on how I feed these babies and give you the overview of all the products I use. I'm always gonna kind of be an advocate for making this as easy as possible. This should not be complicated. I know there's a lot of stuff right here, but this is easy. I've been doing this for years and years and years, and if I can do it for up to 20 dogs at any given time, you guys can definitely, you'll find that once you get going, this is really going to be a really simple, enjoyable part of your day, because we really do have happy, healthy puppies with this type of feeding system. And dogs, happy, healthy dogs. All of my dogs still dance, and the puppies go crazy when they know I'm coming down with their food. So I'm going to show you what I do. A couple things that I tell people that they need to start with is a scale. So this is a Big Country Raw scale, but any digital kitchen scale that you kind of maybe want to dedicate to raw food, you can wipe this and clean this, but sometimes people just want to keep all of their raw pieces together versus mixing them in their house, but as you wish. But this one is just my dedicated scale for my dog food that I use multiple times a day to weigh out my baby's food. So I use these dishes. I like a low profile, anti-skid on the bottom, stainless steel, so it doesn't harbor any bacteria, easy to clean. And I like these little dishes. These are for my little dogs. Puppies, it's perfect. It might look small, but this is all they need. You can put a lot of food in there actually. And I just don't like when they're too deep and they have to dig in there and they kind of get their whole face in and get a little bit messy. And I don't think they like it either because they're licking, and it's not the same as taking a kibble piece. They're licking the bowl, and if it's really deep, they get their noses in the corner. I think these are better low profile options. So what I'm going to start with is I have a couple products. So I have one here open. So these are our Big Country Raw dinners and blends is what I use, and I stick to poultry at the beginning with our puppies. So in these tubs from Big Country Raw, these are the 2-pound tubs. I am going to recommend my family to get the 1-pound packs. I don't think you'll go through these quite as quickly as you need to before they go bad with such little puppies, but as they grow, hopefully you'll be able to graduate to these because they're a little more convenient. And again, the bigger Econo packs you buy, a little bit more savings there financially. So, but for now, I think these ones are the ones you need to use. So these are the 1-pound containers. In these, we have, it's all balanced for us. So we don't have to do any guessing that there's not everything our puppies and dogs need in this. So it is typically, the recipe is following the BARF guidelines. It's 70% muscle meat, 10% organ, 10% bone, and 5 to 10% fruits and veggies, right? Because we want to have a little bit of that in there. Not that dogs eat those in the wild, but they do receive fruits and veggies from the stomach content of their prey. So that it is in their diet. Not that they're searching for berries in the wild. That's not really what dogs do, but they do eat fruits and veggies through the prey. So we need to add that. So I also have, so those are all complete. I also have organ meat. So this is called the Big Country Raw side dish. It's in your shopping list. And this is the beef organ blend. I like to add, so I'm going to show you how I do that, because if we think about canines, dogs, wolves in the wild, all of their nutrients comes from organ meat. So dogs in the wild will take down a prey, and they will all instinctively eat all of the organ meats. They don't go for the breast and other good pieces of the animal that you and I enjoy. They go for the organs, the eyes, the brain, the intestines, all the stuff that we would 100% stay away from. They draw all of their high nutrients from those pieces. So I like to boost this, even though there's 10% in here, I like to boost it. That's how I do it, but we'll go through all that. The other thing I like to add is green beef tripe. So green beef tripe to me it's just like gold. It's a powerhouse of nutrients. It really supports so many digestive system, healthy gut. It has calcium, perfect ratios in here for our dogs and puppies. I love this for my mamas when they're pregnant at certain stages of their pregnancy. It's a very good product for me to increase even more. Nursing, increase even more. Great support for my nursing mamas and wonderful for puppies. So dogs need essential minerals, vitamins, and amino acids. The one thing that differs from dogs and puppies is calcium. Puppies need more calcium, right? We've got growing babies, we've got growing teeth, we've got growing bones, growing babies. So we need to increase the calcium for them. So that's the difference between adult food and puppy food. The calcium is one of those pieces. So we want to increase that a little for our babies. All dogs do need calcium, so that's why we have bone in here. And the tripe is great for our dogs to have calcium, but we want to make sure puppies have just that extra. So I have those 3 products. So I have the meals, the organ meat, and the tripe. And then I have a couple other things here, and I'll talk about them as I add them to my puppies. So when we're feeding our babies, I'm going to show you lazy man way. I've had a crazy day, or I'm rushing out to an activity with the kids and I just don't have enough time to organize, or I've forgotten to defrost something and all I have is the base. So I'm going to show you the balanced way that I can feed my puppies and everything is perfect. So we're giving our dogs a great meal. So I put my bowl on the scale and I zero it out. So now anything I add is adding up. So I'm just going to go with the round number of 3. Well, not a round number. I'm going to go with the number 3. On average, a lot of these puppies are going to eat 3 ounces 3 times a day. So I'll show you what this looks like. So I'm just going to put 3 ounces of this perfectly balanced mixture, exactly 3 right there. So that's it. That's all we need to do. So a lot of feeders, raw feeders, do this. I always recommend we add the oil. So one of the items that we can't receive in this wonderful mix of raw food is our omega-3s. So I add them. So we get those from fish oil. So you can use a herring or a salmon oil. Those are available for dogs. I choose the organic hemp seed oil. I found I had a little bit of trouble with my dogs and fish. They seemed to be sensitive and they were having yeast because of it. So I eliminate fish from their diet. They don't love fish, so it's no love lost for me, but you are welcome to try fish with your dogs. I love this one. This is also a good source of omega-6, so I just feel like it's perfect. I just drizzle it on top and there we go. So I like to add this even when I'm feeling lazy, and I just keep this little guy up in my shelf and I just pull it out and drizzle and off I go. You don't have to measure it. You don't have to get your teaspoons out. Just eyeball it and, you know, get used to kind of maybe what half a teaspoon looks like for your pup, and then it's easy to go. So that's a perfect meal. So that's all we got to do. So then I'll just put him over here and then I'll show you now kind of how I feed my girls and also how I'm feeding the puppies. And again, if you kind of migrate more to this, that's okay. I will talk about calcium, but that's great. But if you want to kind of keep on the routine and understand raw a bit more, I'm going to show you a bit more about this. So we're going to do the same thing where we zero out our scale. And I'm going to now, because I have 3 products, right? I have the base, I have the organ, and I have the tripe. I'm going to divide it by 3, and 3 ounces is easy. So I'm going to do 1 ounce of each. And you know, if you don't do 1 ounce of each, if you do 2 ounces of the base and half an ounce and half an ounce, that's good too. Just anything extra. So the dinners do not have tripe, but the blends do have tripe. So if you have like a breeder blend, a farm blend, they have some blends, they do have tripe in there. So, but you can add more and that's okay. But they have it in there, so that's a great option too. So I'm gonna add 1 ounce of that. I'm gonna add 1 ounce of my organ. So now I'm at 2. And then I'm gonna add 1 ounce of my tripe. The only downfall about tripe, the smell is outrageous. It's not bad, I promise you. It's crazy bad. And the crazy thing about tripe is what we use to get dogs to eat that won't eat. They love this. They love this tripe. So, but the smell is not pretty. So now I have my 3 products in here. So I have 3 ounces, a little bit of each of these items. So I have a really nice, perfect, balanced meal. So I'm gonna add my omega-3. And then the other thing I add for my puppies that's a little bit different is I add a calcium. I boost the calcium anymore. So I'm kind of boosting a little bit. I got bone in here, and then I'm boosting with the tripe. Now I'm gonna boost a bit more, and I'm gonna add my raw fermented goat's milk. I like to splash this on. This lovely container lasts 14 days in the fridge. So if you defrost it, you'll probably go through this no problem. So you can just keep it fresh and just keep drizzling it on. I just splashed a bit on there. I love that one. And the other supplement you can use for calcium and a treat for your dogs is the quail eggs are wonderful. The duck eggs are too big in my mind for puppies, and actually my dogs don't even like them. These are like kind of like popcorn candy. I don't have any to show you, but they're little tiny quail eggs. I defrost them for the puppies and I crack them there so they're not eating them whole. I'm probably being a bit cautious. They're probably ready to chomp away at an egg, but they like that. Some like the shell, some don't, but if they eat the shell, amazing calcium for them. So you can add that instead of the goat's milk if you like to every once in a while. I also add pumpkin to my babies. So pumpkin is a wonderful, wonderful product that really, it softens constipation, and it eliminates wet poopies, wet stools. So it's kind of like a miracle one. So if I'm adding it, and you don't have to add it every meal, I would suggest, I do for these babies here, but when they go home, definitely try to keep this up. You can actually use fresh pureed pumpkin as long as it's not like a canned kind of substitute pumpkin. You can make your own puree, but I find this powder super easy. It keeps, I have it on hand, so if your dog has gotten into something on a walk and they come home and then now they have diarrhea, you can actually add this in and just kind of help them get through that little rough spot. So I love the pumpkin, and it just hydrates. It will hydrate with the raw, and it will hydrate in the milk. So you don't have to mix it, or you can mix it in a bit, whatever you feel like. It all kind of sits together. And then the other last thing I add is I add a supplement. And again, if you don't do this every day, don't feel like, oh, I have to do all these things every day, every meal. If you're doing this a good portion of the time, you're laughing, you're doing great. So I like to add this supplement. This is the sea kelp. I love it because, and you probably won't see it, but it's grainy. So I just sprinkle it on top. There is some directions on how much to feed. There's a little scoop in there for each of your puppy based on their size. But it's like, this has 60 vitamins and minerals. So we're just adding, again, making sure we give, there's no question that this puppy has everything he or she needs. So we've got it all, we've covered it all. Because you will sometimes find that people will doubt this, and your vet will doubt this. But I think that the thing is that when you do it right, it's superior to kibble. There's no question. Now, people can do this wrong. So I think that sometimes our vets have to err on the side of caution, and they're worried about that, right? You cannot just throw Costco hamburger meat at your dog and call it a day. There's absolutely no nutritional value in that. If you have a friend who says, or you know somebody says they cook their dog chicken breast, no nutritional value in that. Or rice, nothing. Organ meat. We need organ meat, and we need proper ratios and a proper balance. We need to add our omegas. We need to add the calcium for the little babies. So it's all a perfect combination, creates these great dogs. So can you do this wrong? Yes. Big Country Raw makes it easy when they make these products kind of complete for us. I get a little fancy, and I like to boost and give my dogs the optimum health and value from their food. So that's where we're at. So hopefully that all helped and gave you some insight on how we feed them. We can make it beautiful and exciting and fun and very bougie, or we can just make it really basic and still get the same results for our babies. The other thing you can add as the puppies get a bit older, and I don't have an example of this because they're always sold out online, is chicken necks. They're a soft bone that the dogs can eat whole, great source of calcium. And you can add those into the meal. So I weigh them on the scale. I don't give them every day, but when my dogs are nursing, I do give them a lot of that every day. They need a lot of calcium. The calcium is being drained by puppies, and they need to increase it. So I do love the chicken necks. They can eat them frozen. When your puppies go home, maybe not right away, but as they get a little bit older, definitely something these dogs enjoy. It's impressive how quickly they'll wolf down a chicken neck. The other thing I love are raw flat rib bones. So these are the mini beef rib bones. Here's the big guy, so it's way bigger. But these have a little bit of cartilage on them. You can see there's a bit of mess on my hands. You can put these in their crate and let them have a go at them. They can actually, the puppies won't do this when they go home, but they can actually eat a good portion of this bone safely. There's marrow in there, and they can, it's a softer bone, and I find it's a very safe bone. This is huge for our puppies. I don't give this to Lilly because that could be a choking hazard, but all of my little puppies, 10 pounds and less, these are perfect bones to chew on and receive some calcium, some fun, some other nourishments on there. It's a good time. So those are great tools. I actually use these over toys with a lot of my dogs, so this will be a reward. And chewing a bone, a recreational bone like this for a dog is like getting a 30-minute walk. The enjoyment they get out of that primordial instinct they have to chew raw bones. It's there, and we have to give it to them. We can't deny them. They love it. So why not give them one of these versus one of these plastic toys we find in the store, because we get so much more value out of these raw bones. And these are incredibly cheap. I think this bag of 6 is $5. So if you're giving one a week, that to me, that's nothing. The value is there. So that's really how I feed these little babies, and I hope that really helped. And safe handling of all this is important. You can see, I think I mentioned, I have this little tray in my fridge. I put everything in my little tray, and off I go in the fridge, and it keeps it all together, and any drips and stuff go in the bottom there. I do use, I'm Miss Environmental, but I do use these wipes. And I just wipe everything down. I've made a little bit of a mess here. I do make a mess when I feed my babies because I got a lot of food, a lot of dogs, a lot of bowls, but when you're feeding one, it's pretty simple. You shouldn't even touch anything with your hands. It should just really be scoop, bowl, floor, dog. So it should be simple, super simple. And I hope I've really given you good information. You're gonna get your individual meal plans for each of the puppies, which will help. So I wanna make sure that we start everybody off on the right step, and make this as easy as possible, because this is easy. And once you get going, I mean, sometimes I can't believe I've done this for so many years, pulling out all these bowls and all these products, but it's, these dogs are happy and very healthy. So it is a joy to feed them this way. So I hope you find that too. And less than 1 week, or just over 1 week, these puppies will start finding their new family. So really exciting. And we're looking forward to the next steps with you guys. So hope this helped and you enjoyed all these videos, and we will be sharing some more updates about these puppies in the next coming days, and then it's go home. So we'll see you all soon.